What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition Morning Scone presented by Barack, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. I hope your Tuesday morning is off to a magnificent start. Wish you all an awesome day today. What a day it is going to be. We have got LSU football in the Texas Bowl tonight against Kansas State. The roster has, the depth chart has been released, and my goodness, it is not plentiful. So, and then LSU K-State tonight, and also LSU Kentucky in basketball tonight. So we are very much looking forward to a busy day today with football and basketball, both on ESPN. So you put your television on ESPN starting at 6 o'clock, and you're on ESPN from 6 all the way through the completion of the Texas Bowl around 11:30. So should be a great day. The line in the Texas Bowl has climbed. What opened with LSU as a slight favorite got closer to Pick'em than Kansas State a favorite, and it was 3.5 yesterday, and it ballooned all the way up to a touchdown. It's currently at 7. It's Kansas State is favored by a touchdown. I think as more people have gotten a look at LSU's roster, who is, and more importantly, who isn't available for LSU, they're looking around and realizing why Kansas State should be and is favored in this ball game. So I think it's one of those where, as far as football goes, you kick your feet up, you enjoy watching John Trey Kirkland run around, hopefully make some plays, and maybe LSU's got enough athletes out on the field to make enough plays to go win the game. Realistically, you're playing a solid football team that has its coaching staff intact, its roster intact, its coach or its quarterback is now healthy, and there's a good reason why they're favored, but Kansas State's favorite. Flip side of it is, I've told you all, I think LSU beats Kentucky today in basketball at 6 o'clock. LSU is a slight 2-point favorite. I just continue to believe wholeheartedly the value of home court advantage. I think that matters significantly. Kentucky has lost 2 games this year. They lost in one of those preseason classic type deals to Duke in the season opener. And then I think that was up at Madison Square Garden. And then they lost at Notre Dame in a true road game. So I like LSU in this basketball game tonight. I think they win at home. You got 2 ranked teams. It's going to be I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup to see kind of a different type of Kentucky team. Oscar Tshiebwe he's a monster now. He averages 15 and 15. And this is something you're going to see in the SEC. You're going to see bigs like that. Severe Wheeler, if you remember, was an all-conference point guard last year at Georgia, transferred to Kentucky. Really good player. He's a triple-double threat. He tore LSU up last year when he was at Georgia. So, but I like LSU in this game. I'm hopeful that I'm really hopeful actually that that Tari Eason is closer to 100%. Again, he didn't play against Tech, and then he had sort of a week off, and then came back against a little more than a week off actually, and then came back to play the game, the SEC opener. Didn't start, played 26 minutes. Now you get about another week to get him rested. Let's hope Tari Eason's closer to 100%. So, all right, let's see what y'all got today. We are back to our normal schedule. Drew has school today, so I got till about just shy of 8 o'clock, and I got to go wake him up. I'm actually doing an interview on Jocks FM at 8, so we'll kind of get Drew stirring. I'll do that interview, then I'll get him off to school. So, all right, let me know what y'all got. Fire away. Truax, what's good? Sam Dixon, Nick Bradley, Hole, Ryan, and Amanda Guidry. We've got Lesko Brandon now on Facebook instead of on YouTube. What's your prediction for football? I think I gave sort of a stupid kind of off-the-cuff prediction that was like 18-12 or something like that. something like that. I don't know. I'm going to be fascinated to see if Jontre Kirkland's running around there playing quarterback, how it looks. I think it's going to be really tough for LSU to score points in this ball game. And then we really got to wait and see how, because you have really no one available in your secondary. Of your entire starting 11 defensively from the UCLA game, there is one player who started against UCLA defensively that's starting in this game. It's Jay Ward. That's it. The only guy that started against UCLA that's starting tonight is Jay Ward. It's crazy. Now, you do have 4 offensive linemen starting tonight that started against UCLA. The exception was Bradford. Anthony Bradford started in place of Jason Hines. Well, Hines has played a ton, and he started tonight. So really, you have your full offensive line. And maybe this is an opportunity behind that offensive line for Corey Kiner to get some run. The tricky part is Kansas State, their secondary is terrible. And this is a game where you'd love to be able to just grip it and rip it. Well, you don't have your quarterback. You don't have Keyshawn Butte, obviously. Trey Palmer has transferred out. Deion Smith is out. You do have Jack Bash, and you got Malik Neighbors, and you got Chris Hilton if he wants to run around and make some plays. Jure Jenkins. So, that may be your advantage if you can find some plays in the passing game. Let's see. Stephen Smith, good morning. Cody DeVille, Matt, any concerns Jamar Cain hasn't been officially announced yet? No, Cody, no. For example, they just announced Joe Sloan yesterday evening, and that had been reported for several days. So no concern over that. Dax Jeter, how did the roster management get this bad? Well, a major part of it, Dax, is that Ed Ogeron kind of just gave up, and he stopped paying attention to his players who were going to class, and you had guys just not going to class this semester. This is what if you've been here at Morning Scone, y'all know I've told you this, and some of y'all didn't like me saying this at the beginning because I told you LSU was going to have trouble fielding a team for this game. And this was it. They had a whole bunch of starters academically ineligible because you had a bunch of guys that just stopped going to class. Well, that's on Ogeron. And I get it. You're going to say, well, it's on individual accountability from a student. Yes, that's true. But it's also your responsibility as the CEO of a $100 million program to know which players are in trouble academically and when to buckle down and bear down on them and make sure that they're doing what they have to do to stay eligible. So that's a big part of it. You're going to have guys transfer every year, and then when you lose a coach, that's certainly no different. But remember, you came into this season light on numbers as well, so that's compounded the problem. Roster management was something Ed was just not good at. There is no debating that. He's very poor at roster management, among a lot of other things. Donovan Rillion, good morning. Richie Mercer, morning, Matt. Which players are you looking forward to seeing play in the bowl game? For me, Corey Kiner. Kiner's an interesting one. See if he can get going behind that offensive line. I'm excited to see Jontre Kirkland play quarterback. They let him do it. You could say, well, you're excited to see some of these young corners, but realistically, those guys aren't going to play. I'll tell you what. Because there's no Neil Farrell, there's no Glenn Logan, and you've obviously had the injuries you've had on the defensive line. This is Mason Smith, Jaquayo, and Roy Jacoby and Guillory. All right, guys, y'all are it. You're next. Let's go. Let's see what you got. I would love to see how those guys shape up tonight. Thavanka De Silva, good morning. Hunch on quarterback. So I told y'all yesterday that I thought the NCAA would grant Nussmeier's waiver. And my sort of logic, and it was very clear. I did not know. And I told y'all that I thought maybe the logic was because they've bent over backwards to get some of these games played. Think about how quickly they moved to get Rutgers in that Gator Bowl to replace A&M. And I thought LSU could come hat in hand and just say, listen, we're exceedingly short on numbers. We want to play this game. We've got to have a quarterback. And that the NCAA would maybe give leniency. And apparently they didn't. The Athletic reported yesterday that Nussmeier did not receive his waiver and does not intend to play. So that means you're looking at Tavion Falk or Jontre Kirkland. Matt O'Dowd was not on the depth chart, and I told y'all Matt O'Dowd a week ago, the week before Christmas, was on crutches. So, see. Let's see. Matthew Rogelio, good morning. Joey Vincent, Jason Mabio, good morning. Bregman may need to go ahead and order another keg or two for 20. Bregman was on AFR yesterday. So if you are in Houston or you're going to Houston or you know someone who is, let them know. Bregman's throwing a tailgate party in the Platinum lot outside of NRG. It's free. And he went through it. He's got some partnerships with like a local brewery and some barbecue place. So it's free food, free drinks, which includes beer if you're of age. And he's like, yeah, man, hopefully I have a couple hundred people there. I was like, a couple hundred? Bro, they've sold 50,000 tickets to this game. You're talking LSU fans. You tell LSU fans free food, free beer. Brother, like, you're going to need reinforcements, man. So, anyway, so if you're there, y'all go see Bregman today at the Platinum lot outside of NRG. Starts at 4 o'clock. Trivia Carter, DC Vlogs, LSU, PTG, Toasty, what's good? Yeah, please, thank you. Smash the like button on YouTube if you would. Facebook, please like the page, share the post. Trivia, I like the members only jackets. Ain't no members only jacket, bro. This is a very, very nice quarter zip, polo quarter zip. This was a gift from E-Rock for Christmas, bro. This is really nice. I do have a members only jacket though. Actually, I don't know if I do anymore. I had a members only jacket. Whenever I did Dancing with the Stars, and we danced the cha-cha-cha to Walk This Way, and I had a members only jacket for that. And I don't know if I kept it. Erica might have gotten rid of it. Jesse Brown, good morning. Saw an article yesterday, Nussmeier waiver was denied. Well, why not let him play? Because they're the NCAA and they can do what they want. Ed Reeder said, good luck, Lady Tigers. Yeah, Lady Tigers play number 1 South Carolina on Thursday. Kim Mulkey on AFR tomorrow. I know Brian Kelly isn't coaching the bowl game, but what are his interactions at the moment with the current team? I don't know that it's much, PTG Toasty. Honestly, I think he has stayed out of the way and let this coaching staff, which only has 4 guys remaining from the season, he's let this coaching staff coach the team. He certainly has had an influence on game plan and discipline and structure and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, he's in Houston, but he's not going to really have much involvement at all. Jordan Thomas, any chance in hell Caleb Williams ends up at LSU? No, if he doesn't. For those that missed it, Caleb Williams, the dynamic freshman quarterback from Oklahoma, he announced he's entering the transfer portal. Said returning to Oklahoma is a possibility, but it just makes the most sense, like that he entertain USC if he reunites with Lincoln Riley, West Coast, Pac-12, Hollywood, LA, all that sort of stuff. It makes too much sense. So if he leaves Oklahoma, my guess is it's going to be for USC. Cliff Nelson, good morning. # Team Drew. Matthew Rogelio, why wouldn't Miles Brennan play? Miles did talk about this on a couple of interviews he did. I know one of them on OTB. He did one on the Locked On SEC podcast with Chris Gordy where he said, look, he hadn't played football since the summer. To come in cold without having played all year and to try to go play in an actual game, it wouldn't go well. Bailey C. When Jameis got hurt, my dad turned to me and said, you're about to see what I grew up with. That's about right. My earliest memories of the Saints were, when they actually got good, late 80s, when you had Bobby Hebert and Dalton Hilliard, Eric Martin. You had the team that won, I don't remember the team that won the division in 87. They didn't win the division, but made the playoffs in 87. They didn't win the division until 91. But I remember all those teams that would go to the playoffs and would get bounced. But then after that, of course, it was the end of Mora and Ditka and Hazellate and lucky to see we saw the last 15 years. Jordan Thomas, what's the deal with Sage Ryan? Listed on the depth chart, not as a starter. My guess is, Jordan, is that he's hurt. that he's available, but probably they prefer not to play him. They got Pig Cage listed ahead of him as a starter. That's an educated guess, just looking at the situation, how it's laid out there. As always, I'll shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. New year, new career. Brock is hiring, brortho.com, brortho.com, and of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Say it every day, do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Todd Harris, good morning. Sam Dixon, good morning. Scone and tea is so good, y'all are hilarious. Thank you, Todd. I appreciate it. We do enjoy doing it. Kale Reynolds, will we ever get locked in LSU again? Absolutely, Kale. So I had to step down from Locked on LSU. The long story short is, had a lot of conflicts with advertisers, with AFR, and then with the Locked On Network, and then Guarantee launched its own podcast network, and so they want me to do content like Scone and Tea in the Guarantee Podcast Network. So I had to resign from Locked On LSU. There is going to be a new Locked On LSU host. That person should be starting very, very, very soon. And by the way, I'm the one who recommended this person take over for me. So I kind of handpicked the person that's going to be hosting Locked On LSU. So I would highly recommend that you continue listening to it. If you're subscribed, stay subscribed and give the new host a chance, because I think this person is really super talented and is going to do very well. I will be starting another podcast similar to Locked On LSU. Your daily LSU stuff, 20 minutes thereabouts. And it will be coming soon. It'll be under the Guarantee Podcast Network banner. We're ironing out final details and all of it, but it's going to start soon, and I'll let you know when it does. Brian, when are we a football school or a basketball school? Both, depending on the season. Baseball school, gymnastics school. Bill Schmidt, Gary Atchison, Jeremy Wiley, morning Matt. Wish the bowl game was earlier in the day so I could watch it and the men's basketball in full, but I work at 9. Oh, you go to work at 9 p.m. That sucks. DVR it. Or listen to it on the radio. Aaron Rodgers. Can't believe we actually had enough on the roster to play. Really don't, Aaron. I mean, if it was COVID rules last year, you would. They have 39 scholarship players. Last year for COVID, you had to have 53. Think about that. Shelby Kelly, everyone's worried about LSU for the bowl game. I really don't care how it goes. Just want to see how scrappy some of these guys are. That's kind of where everybody is, Shelby. It's a house money type game. Everyone punted this season long ago. The emotion is surrounding Brian Kelly, his hiring of a new staff, finishing off this recruiting class, the future. This glorified exhibition is not anything anyone's going to be super emotional about one way or the other. But it is an opportunity to see LSU run up there and play a game and see if they can get another dub. Eric Trosclair, good morning, go Tigers. Jonathan Meir, once again, the NCAA proves it's worthless. Yes. Father John David Mathern, if Nuss's waiver indeed wasn't approved, how much of this was the NCAA still throwing shade at LSU because of Will Wade? Yeah, I don't think that's it. I really don't. I think it's one of those things where LSU really didn't have a leg to stand on. I mean, except to say, please help. And the NCAA was like, no, because if we do it for you, then how many other people do we have to do it for? I just thought they might. Silly me. Wishing Drew a great first day back at school. Thank you, Nick. I'll let him know. Sam Dixon, free food. Everyone going to bring a 6-pack of brew. Fair trade. He said free beer and free food at Bregman's tailgate. I was like, good luck with that. Y'all better go. He said if we run out, we might have to go make a run and get some more. Because he said it'd be a 4-hour deal from 4 until kickoff. So it's like, brother. Aaron Rodgers picking the Lady Tigers for the upset against South Carolina. I don't know that I'm going to go that far, but it should be a great atmosphere. They're trying to get 10,000 people in the PMAC, and I think they're going to do it. Guy Dotson, how is that A&M seems to be bringing in so many 5 stars? Can you explain to the novice what gives a team an advantage in getting 5 stars? Well, in this current culture, first of all, although LSU fans don't like to acknowledge this, Jimbo Fisher is a really good recruiter, and he has always assembled really good talent. That's number one. It's taken him a few years to build it to there at A&M, but he's now at that point, and he's also aided by NIL. I mean, when you have that many prominent business owners that are willing to throw NIL money at recruits to get them on board, even though you're not supposed to do that technically, it's happening. You're naive if you think it's not. The rich get richer, and that's going to benefit schools like Texas and and Texas A&M and USC and Bama, schools with more resources. Ron Ritchie, good morning. Gary Petrie, Timothy Landry. Let's see, y'all. I have just a couple more minutes. Like I said, I got to be on Jocks FM at 8, and I got to get Drew up and get him out for school. So maybe just 2 more minutes. Timothy Landry. Let's see. Jeremy Kling, Brian Arsenault. Do you think Kelly's staff is the most experienced staff LSU's ever had? Brian, that's, man, I would really have to dig deep into that. That's a tough question. I mean, when you're speaking like in terms of absolutes, like ever, I don't know, man. I'd really have to look into that. Don Jolibois, good morning. I mean, if you're just talking experience, like years, think about Ed's staff a couple of years ago. The average age of the coach was something like 51 years old. I mean, that's pretty experienced. I'm with Jerry Sullivan. I mean, he skewed the numbers, but that was pretty. When you had Jerry Sullivan and Pete Jenkins, that's a lot of experience. Matthew Godwin, predictions for the games. I like Kansas State in the football game, and I do like LSU to win the basketball game. Jacob Hibbard. I know we've been disorganized with NIL. Once we will be able to compete for top 5 classes. Yeah, man, listen, Jacob, because there's still going to be kids. Like, I'll give you an example. Jacoby Matthews. Jacoby Matthews wants to go to LSU. Point blank. He's a Louisiana kid that wants to go to LSU. The tough part there is when you have schools that are offering, 6 figures worth of NIL money, it's hard to turn away from that. So if when LSU gets organized, they could maybe go to a kid like Jacoby Matthews and be competitive there and say, listen, we're going to take care of you. And he ends up in Baton Rouge. So yeah, that's going to happen. And there's going to be kids like Will Campbell who are 5 stars and Walker Howard is a 5-star who just want to play at LSU. Let's see, John Trey and Nuss's recent Twitter exchange seemed like Nuss may burn the red shirt. See? I'll believe it when I see it. Ronnie Dugas is Kelly's staff complete. He's got one more spot, and it's wide receiver coach. And most believe that that's going to be Cortez Hankton, who's the wide receiver coach at Georgia, who's from New Orleans. So obviously wait till Georgia's season's over in the Natty till we get that finalized. Keith H., good morning. Coffee with Scone, great way to start the day. Julia Kaole Lopono. Did I nail it, Julia? Is there an update on Matt Corral? Yeah, Julia, there is. Not broken, which is great news. So he'll lay off of it for a little bit. Hopefully be ready to roll for the combine. Dan Bergeron heading to Houston for the game with 2 bottles of Jack Daniels. I figure I'll need it for this game. I'll be drunker than Bob for tonight. Mayhem Santana, Joe Horningham. Before Joe Horningham, bro. It's my twin and him. Trey Guy wants the Hudco hustle. Okay. This is it. On the way out, let's do it.
When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio. All you need is Hudco. Call Hudco Roofing. 364-1007.
All right, y'all. I think we got to bounce. Y'all have an amazing day. Do me a favor if you haven't done so yet. Facebook, please like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post, like the page, share the post. YouTube, smash that like button. If you've not done so yet, please subscribe to the Matt Moscona channel. I do like Kansas State to win the football game tonight. It's just so hard to pick a massively depleted LSU roster against a full Kansas State roster who's got its quarterback healthy, its coaching staff in place. Just a massive advantage for Kansas State in this game, and I think they'll win it. I do think LSU beats Kentucky tonight in basketball. Dale Brown Court, if you are going to the basketball game, 15 minutes prior to tip is when they're going to actually unveil the court, and then there will be a halftime ceremony where Dale Brown will speak. So make sure you're in your seat early tonight for the dedication of Dale Brown Court if you are going to the LSU Kentucky basketball game. Okay, y'all have an awesome, awesome day. AFR at 3. We'll see you then. Peace.